There is no better feeling than to go for a morning walk amidst the sunshine, strolling the cool bridge. Walking down, one can easily meet the birds, chirping with the usual spirit and adventure. Often the birds are captured in morning walkers' cameras. But this isn't a forest far from the maddening crowd. Rather, in Kolkata, one of the metro cities with a heavy density of population. This little forest within the city boasts 70 varieties of trees, ensuring strong lungs for the people who stroll here effortlessly. No doubt, this is like an oasis in the city, which is also the most polluted compared to many. All this has been possible due to the efforts of Montu Hyde, a young lawyer and an environmentalist.
তো এটা জঙ্গলের আকারেই প্রথমে ছিল আর তার সঙ্গে বেশ কিছু বড় গাছও ছিল, কিন্তু হঠাৎ কোনো একটা অজ্ঞাত কারণে ওই গাছগুলো মরে যাওয়াতে তখন মনে হলো যে এই যে গাছগুলো মরে গেল বা জঙ্গলটা যেভাবে শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে সেটাকে আবার পুনরুদ্ধার করা দরকার। প্রথমে আমরা যেমন গাছ কিনে এনে বসাই এগুলো করেছিলাম, কিন্তু সেটা দেখলাম সবাই সারভাইভ করলো না, সবাই বেঁচে রইল না, কিছু কিছু গাছ বেঁচে রইল। এবং তারপরে পরেই আমরা দেখলাম যে গাছের নিচে যেমন তার বীজ পড়ে চতুর্দিকে ফল থেকে গাছ বেরিয়ে উঠছে, সেই রকমভাবে আমরা ভাবলাম এবং এখানে নানা রকম দেশীয় ফল ফুলের গাছের বীজ আমরা ছড়াতে থাকলাম। নেচার যেগুলো সিলেকশন করলো প্রায় 1 বছর বাদে আমরা সেইগুলোর উপরে জোর দিলাম এবং তারপর থেকে সেই গাছগুলোর বীজ আমরা আর গাছ বসালাম না, বীজগুলো আমরা বর্ষার সময় লেবার মজুর দিয়ে এই মাটির মধ্যে একটু করে গর্ত করে বসিয়ে দেওয়াতে থাকলাম। গরমের যে বৃষ্টি দু একটা হয় তাতে বীজগুলো ফুটে উঠে বর্ষার জলে পুষ্ট হয়ে তারা বড় হতে থাকলো। এই পদ্ধতিটাকে পরে আমি বন্ধুদের থেকে জেনেছিলাম গেরিলা গার্ডেনিং বলে। এই কাজটা পরিকল্পনা করা হয়েছে 2005 সালে, আর 2005 থেকে 2015 প্রায় 10 বছর মতো লাগে একটা জায়গায় নিয়ে আসতে। আলিপুর এনভায়রনমেন্টাল সোসাইটি এরাও এটার মধ্যে ইনভলভ ছিলেন, এখনও আছেন এবং সেই কাজ উভয় এবং বন্ধু বান্ধব অন্যান্য সকলে মিলে আমরা করে চলেছি এটা।
The monumental effort of environmentalist Montu Hyde, that too working solo, is a fantastic example of urban forestry.
Urban forestry defined as an integrated concept of management of forest in urban area. City plant, mainly the roadside plant, which used for air filtration and for the purpose of pollution treatment in cities, helps the environmental hazard elimination. Urban plantation is for filtration of environmental hazard, mainly filtration of air and other environmental byproduct from factories and vehicles like carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc., etc. The filtration of air by producing oxygen by photosynthesis and producing water vapor by respiration.
বড় গাছের মধ্যে একটি পরজীবী গাছ তৈরি হয়। তাহলে যখন বড় গাছ তৈরি হলো তাদের গায়েতে একেবারে ন্যাচারালি ওরা গজাতে থাকলো এবং এই যে গাছের পাতা সেগুলো প্রজাপতি খায়, তার ফুলগুলো প্রজাপতি নেকটার নেয়, এইভাবে এটা একটা আবার নিজস্ব ইকোসিস্টেম এখানে তৈরি হয়ে গেছে। 50 থেকে 60 রকমের পাখি আর 70-75 রকমের প্রজাপতি, 10 থেকে 15 রকমের নানা রকমের ম্যামালস, গোল্ডেন জ্যাকেল শেয়াল, আমরা যেটা দেখি শেয়াল, বেজি, কাঠবিড়ালি, রাতের দিকে বাদুড়, সমস্ত কিছুই আসছে।
Urban forestry which is sometimes called also the social forestry, basically deals with the afforestation program in a city. Now, amidst the concrete jungle of a city, the essential requirement for oxygen, for eco-balancing, for the existence of our of the human life there, we do need vegetative cover.
এই জায়গাটা কলকাতা পোর্ট ট্রাস্টের দুর্গাপুর ব্রিজ এবং মাঝেরহাট ব্রিজের মধ্যবর্তী অঞ্চল। একদিকে কলকাতা পোর্টের জায়গা, মাঝখানে একটি সুয়েজ ক্যানেল এবং তারপর রেলের জায়গা। ওনাদের চিঠিয়ে দিই যে আমরা গাছ বসাচ্ছি, ওনারা আমাদেরকে অনুমতি দেননি, আবার কখনো আপত্তিও করেননি। 2019 সালে এবং 20 সালে, প্র্যাকটিক্যালি 20 সালে দেখলাম কলকাতা পোর্ট একটা বড় রকমের পাঁচিল দিয়ে জায়গাটিকে ঘিরল। তো তাতে আমাদের উপকার হয়েছে এবং পোর্টেরও হয়তো উপকার হয়েছে। তো সেখানে প্রোটেকশনটা অনেক বেড়ে গেল এই গাছগুলোর জন্য। এই পোর্টের জায়গার বাইরে দুদিকে কিছুটা রাস্তার ধারে, পিচ রাস্তার ধারে দুদিকে জায়গা রয়েছে। আমরা সেখানে পরবর্তী পর্যায়ে বাটারফ্লাই গার্ডেন করব 1 কিলোমিটার জুড়ে।
But mitigating the issues of the city environment is not that easy either. By 2050, 68% of the world's population is projected to live in urban areas, with Asia and African continents driving the global urbanization trend. India alone will have 814 million urban dwellers by then, compared to approximately 50 million in 2022. According to a United Nations source, India will add nearly 241 million people to the working age population group between 2010 and 2030. Interestingly, Brazil will add around 18 million and China will add a meager 10 million in this frame. India will benefit from demographic dividends and will have the opportunity of an investment boom. Such investments generally occur in cities and towns, which attract migration towards Indian cities for employment opportunities. People move towards cities also for better education and medical facilities. All such activities cause more urban sprawl, noise, and air pollution. The enhancement of urban green space or urban forests has the potential to mitigate the adverse effects of urbanization in a sustainable manner.
While we are talking about urban forestry, we should take care of aesthetics, mechanical stability, and also the environmental utility of the trees which are being planted. And their balance is very much required, because for aesthetics we may choose, say, straight trees and having flowering round the year. That is one thing. Secondly is, for mechanical stability we should select the tree species which have straight root, that is going down. Otherwise the surface roots are being cut frequently, so the stability will be disturbed, and the roots also may affect the walls and streets as well. So that is not preferred. Like banyan tree is not preferred. We need to consider the leaf structure, the ergonomics of the tree, and also their utility in the sense of, say, controlling pollution and harvesting or arresting pollution particles.
The key functions under urban forestry as per the state municipal acts and the actual functions featured by cities are as follows: city beautification, greenery drives, maintenance of existing forests, promoting social forestry, planting trees, relocation of trees, environmental awareness, and others.
Vegetative cover can be obtained through roadside plantation. The land cost is so high in case of any city, whether a metro city or any urban city, whatever the government do possess, that only is available for afforestation. It is always challenging for the planners to select the correct species for roadside plantations. On one hand, we cannot go for fruit-bearing species, although fruit-bearing species is important for attracting the birds and other creatures also. Whenever there is a road construction takes place, or rather the road repairing takes place, usually what happens, the roadside trees' roots are getting affected because they are getting cut down by the people and making it bitumen and other things whenever they are pouring. So that also becoming detrimental for the stems of the trees, and ultimately that has an impact on the stability of the trees. And whenever there is a little bit of high wind storms, we find that they are getting uprooted.
I was serving in the Bidhannagar Municipality Corporation area. I noticed some of the species have already encroached or entered into the private property. That affected the property of the owner also, and same thing is applicable for the tree. So when we are thinking about the plantation, we should, what I have told earlier, we should go for the scientific method to select a proper place where the plant can be grow straight and erect, so that his canopy cover can be grow naturally. And in the future we should avoid any type of construction around the tree, so that the tree cannot be affected by anything. It's very important to regularly taking care of the trees. Sometimes cutting branches or pruning is also necessary. So whenever some surface root is also affected, so pruning may make a balance. So surface root should be established properly. That is why it is also not advisable to make like sitting arrangement very close to the trees. Whereas even we make a sitting arrangement, that should be in the bigger circle, so that the tree also may exist.
Although nowadays there are good initiatives taken by the government through environmental clearance of big complexes, housing complexes, where it is compulsory that they should have some afforestation.
Nowadays very difficult to get the spaces. However, especially government complexes or educational institutions or other properties, or especially recently being developed different housing complexes. So there are some spaces we can utilize for urban forestry apart from roadside plantation. Not only for urban forestry but also recreation forestry. Some parks which are already existing, that may also be developed. Like most of the parks now, you may find just this playing things for the children, but trees are already cut. So those areas where there are more than 1,000 parks will be there in Kolkata metro city. So that park may be planted by trees.
Different canal sites and river sites are also used for urban plantation, mainly the tree plantation. But the roadside divider can create some provision for planting the herbaceous and ground vegetation and ground greenery. The present scenario of urban plantation in India is not so satisfactory.
A new study reveals how Indian cities are short of trees. Over 20 years, Kolkata's tree cover fell from 23.4% to 7.3%, and by 2030, the vegetation will be 3.37% of the Kolkata areas. In Ahmedabad, tree cover fell from 46% to 24%, and by 2030, vegetation will be 3% of Ahmedabad's area. Bhopal's tree cover fell from 66% to 22%, and Hyderabad's tree cover fell from 2.71% to 1.66%. As India's urban population is increasing rapidly, real estate boom and infrastructural development have increased concretization and built up area. Existing green space are under threat of indiscriminate development. The controversy regarding Mumbai's RA Milk Colony and southern Bengaluru's Thwarahalli Forest, which are well known to everyone. World Health Organization norms mention that 9 square meter green open space is required for every city dweller. Most of the Indian cities, with the exception of Gandhinagar and Chandigarh, are far behind in per capita urban forest availability in comparison to the cities of the Western world. Various NGOs and educational institutions conduct tree plantation programs throughout the year. Often it is seen that due to a lack of scientific approach, the target is not fulfilled.
Talking about some of the important plants which may be the flowering plants which may give a good look for the urban city. So some of the plants which may be preferable for the plantation like Krishnachura, there is a Rangan, then there is a Gandharaj, there is Sthalpadma, then there is a Paras people, Shet Rangan, then is Shet Kanchan is there. These things may be planted for the roadside avenue plantation, but we have to take care that plantation should be done in properly placed so that the regular monitoring activity can be done, the plant can be grow straight and erect so that the necessary danger in the future can be avoided.
For a quite long time, the central government, state governments and municipalities have taken several significant steps to create and maintain urban forest. On World Environment Day 2020, the central government announced,
and therefore we have introduced the scheme of urban forest. Today, to launch our Nagarvan program, urban forest program in 200 corporation cities of India.
In Kolkata, while the approach flyover to the Bidyasagar Setu was built, around 1500 trees were uprooted. To compensate the loss, the Hooghly River Bridge Commission created the first urban forest in Kolkata at the heart of the city. In 2004, erstwhile Chief Minister Buddhadev Bhattacharya inaugurated the Shal Mohul Pial Jungle. In Park Circus Maidan, a tree was relocated by the Kolkata Municipal Corporation authorities was previously uprooted due to a heavy storm. But we have miles to go. The migration of the people to the city space can never be stopped. The works concerning infrastructure development, industrial work, commercial projects, and real estate construction can't be stopped either. No doubt, with all these initiatives, the polluting agents are becoming powerful day by day. For the survival of the cities and urban areas, and to ensure sustainable living for future generations, it is very important to create a scientifically sustainable environment. One of the primary ways is to stress creating urban forests and giving much highlight to urban forestry. This includes planting new trees scientifically and safeguarding old trees. At any cost, the green cover of the cities needs to be expanded. Otherwise, an uncertain future will beckon the generations to come.